Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, folks, guys. Happy to be with you again. My name is Alex. I'm from Bulldozer Group and co-founder of PolyFNB. And today we have a very special guest, Massimo Vidoni, most known in Dubai and UAE as a TruffleMan, with his truffle products, with his caviars all around the city. So I have a word to Mr. Massimo. Please introduce a bit yourself. Tell about who you are, what you are, and what you're doing here.
Hi, how are you, everybody? Thanks again for inviting me to this. I'm Massimo Vidoni. I am the founder of Vital Touch. Everybody knows me as the TruffleMan, as I started importing fresh truffle and going to restaurant, chef to chef. And the Bulldozer Group is a client of mine. I have many restaurants that use my product. And so I'm happy to be here, even during this COVID area. And we're getting busy, thank God. That's it. I'm very happy to be here. Thanks a lot for inviting me.
Thank you, Massimo. Massimo, tell me, we will start basically. The COVID happened, quarantine broke, lockdown. How did you manage your team? How did you manage your business? What happened to you as a supplier? Because basically you've been working as a supplier to the restaurants. No supermarkets. Yes. Everything is on lock. So what happened to you?
What happened is I thought I never expected something like this. I remember there was SARS before. I've been around September 11 when I was in New York. Different kind of tragedy, wars, and never impacted this way the whole industry worldwide. I saw it coming because my family is Italian. I'm Italian, and I have family in Italy, and everything started kind of more than from China. It passed to Italy very quickly, and Italy got a lot of number of cases of coronavirus, and started very quickly to produce damages and they were the first one to be in lockdown. And in fact, after 5 days, then I came back from Singapore, which everything seemed under control. The number grew out of proportion, and also here they issued the lockdown. The first lockdown was around March 10, where they made all the restaurant close, and for safety reason, obviously. And I totally agree with the government. I'm very happy they did it. We have to stop this thing. But at the same time, I had a million things going to my mind. What do we do? I have stock. I have a lot of invoice unpaid. I have all my clients blocked.
True, and your product cannot live very long as well as fresh truffles.
Yes, especially truffles. I had caviar stock, and I didn't really know what to do. I took 2 days really to figure it out, over sleepless nights, realizing then, no, it's not going to be just 2-3 days. It's going to be something we have to deal with for a long time. And so in Vital Touch, I spoke with my people, and we are 15. And by rules, we can only be 30. Even if we have the permit to work, I sent some people on vacation. We all prepare vacation. We are cutting ourselves, and by no way not to fire anybody. And
so you think everyone from your team, everyone still happy?
Yes, everybody, including me, scaled down, and they all understood. 4 or 5 people in my team were able. I was able to send them who to Philippines, who to India, in a pay vacation, and we cannot just lower it what they get, but at least they are able to sustain themselves.
That's amazing.
And I was really happy. One of the last flight, 2 girls took it the last flight. I was able to buy them a one-way ticket to Philippines, and I hear them constantly. They are so happy they're home with the family instead to be stuck here in some sharing apartment and just.
That's amazing. In the beginning of lockdown, I saw as well your post that you've been posting on the Instagram, Facebook, that anyone who is suffering and struggling, I'm more than happy to help. A lot of people came to you and approached you.
Yes, it was great. It was a great feeling. It's something actually that motivated me for the first 10 days, because the phone wasn't ringing to come to work, and passing from 80, 100 orders a day, running around, going to meet people, to freeze completely. I was anxiety. I really didn't know what to do. And also to program. Then a little bit later, I spoke to people, and I actually thought, but thanks to my coworker, to my employees here, they told me that there's while the time passed, by the end of March, there was also a lot of people that didn't receive any salary, didn't see any paid.
True.
Some people at the restaurant close and they have no clue what to do, or a lot of people were working maybe with a base salary plus either commission or plus tips, and not having tips, which is about maybe double of the salary, and that's what they were leaving or were sending money home. It led them really without air to breathe. So I thought, let's do something. At least from the industry, chef. If you know somebody, most of my followers are chef or foodies.
Obviously,
we ran about 280 baskets for home with milk, little things, instant noodles, something. Then at least give them something. I mean, you're really happy to do, and wasn't a publicity stunt. Was really
from your heart. I
was
saw it.
Really happy to do something.
It was only on yours. On your Instagram, and that's it. It was never ever published anywhere.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
It was amazing.
Really, for the first 10 days of when we were stuck, motivated me to come to work, because I was receiving 1 phone call, 2 phone calls a day.
At least looking at
the staff, we didn't know what to do. Then a little by little, I started to put my stuff online and start to sell it through chat food. I went to many clients, Truffles, Reef, and other, and they were using chat food. And I spoke to Ben, which is one of the founder, and he told me, look, why do you think if I can sell some gift basket or something? It's gonna be Eid. So I tried to make some basket with caviar. Instead to just give the caviar, you buy with caviar, you get the creme fraiche, the blini, the little spoons, and it's more like a gift. Even since
the basket looks amazing, actually, guys. If you're interested, literally go to Chat Food, TruffleMan, it'll touch. There are a lot of different baskets, and the price range from quite affordable until super nice for shakes, I would say.
Yes. You know, we have baskets and go from 140 dirham to 8,000 if you want to buy a kilo big tin of beluga and dive in.
Also, I saw that it's not only gift baskets, but you have listed most of your products, caviar.
Yes. Well, I thought to make a 3 basket with caviar, 3 basket with truffle, and then people in Dubai are very particular and demanding. So the one that didn't want the sour cream but wanted the creme fraiche. The other one wanted to have the truffle oil, not the white one but the black one, and the cream. And another one, why don't you put the salt? So I said, okay, let's make 10 and 20 gift basket. We have about 30 gift basket. And then if somebody want to buy individual, just 3 truffle butter, they can do it. And but it's really, why can't I have, everything was modified all the time. So like this, thank God this one worked very well. We sold a lot of baskets. So today I have an order for like 60 baskets, one person order to give it to other people in need. Like 60 baskets of 300 dirham is still very good because it generates cash flow.
Very good.
It makes me busy. The morale is much higher. I mean, every time I hear in the music, I feel like in Vegas when you hit the jackpot. even if it's an order of 200 dirhams or 6,000 dirhams, it's still the same.
Who cares? It's the same feeling.
It's true. Yeah. If I'm away, if I'm doing a delivery somewhere, or I'm somewhere busy, my girl video the drink song is, we get an order, so I get on WhatsApp, and it's really great. So
Massimo, who is doing delivery? Did you sign some third companies, or you are doing by yourself?
No, we are doing the delivery because I have 3 drivers. So one is in vacation, and the other 2 drivers are here, and I use them as a delivery unless somebody wants an emergency. They called me last Friday, and I went myself. Amazing. I was in the pool. I came to the office. I went to deliver myself. I was in the Emirates Hills. No, but so it's. We scaled down. We grew very fast. It's 9 years. Then I Vital Touch. I started as a 1-person company. Then I have my employee number 1. Then he's still working with me, Khan. And now we grew to 14. And it's really a good team. We work really as an orchestra, and they all understand the situation, and we all can wait. Then this go back to normal. Thank God. Also, you guys call me, and you're reopening Ayabari 20, speaking with the people of Cipriani. I spoke with the people of Shanghai Mi, and
Yes.
the Bulldozer Group. There are those three for now, I believe, restaurants that are going to open.
Yes, at this
So it
moment,
does
yes.
give you hope. Some other group already open, some are starting.
Zoma is
some will
open, LTM is open,
Yeah,
Amazon is
Zuma
open,
all the other are
Rafe,
opening, and I was in
Fields.
Namos, I was in Namos,
Namos is back.
3 Fields. Namos, I was there last Tuesday. No alcohol because we are doing Ramadan, which is also another handicap, because if they have the alcohol for sure in the evening, probably they could have boosted their sales and their bills. But
It was busy in terms of 30%.
I believe it's a good idea, because I believe it was a good idea because alcohol, inhibits you, and I don't know, after one bottle of wine, maybe I start hugging and kissing everybody.
Yeah, there is no social distancing with alcohol, that's for sure.
No, that's very tough to be social distancing when you drink tequila shots or something. But I see a big change. I mean, we have to deal with the hospitality as. Now they're all the people are like kind of scared. A lot of people are still scared to go out, but with the time, I think everything is gonna go back to normal even more, because that this kind to be at the house arrest situation, it makes to me my family makes us realize how important are the relationship and to socialize. To go to a restaurant, and I have to order to an app, even if they prepare everything, is nice, but not to have the relationship. Because I thought hospitality. I'm Italian. I'm very passionate about everything. If you come to my warehouse, you want to see something. Maybe I'm very good at selling because you have the passion of what you're doing, and I can explain you. Look,
you love what you do, and you know it very well.
Where this come from? Paolo is the guy who does it. His family does this from 300 years. So this vinegar is totally different, and these are the reason. And that's also what happened in a restaurant when the waiter suggests you what do you suggest me, what you should buy, or what is fresh or something. Hospitality is also that one. It's not just serving food and get it by Deliveroo. That's a part of it. That's something that will affect a lot the sales, because a lot of people have a residual income. The salary would be less, or who has a salary, and even if you make a good salary, you're scared to spend it, because you don't know if you can have it next month, or you don't know what the company. Most of the people are not self-employed, and me, then I have to look forward 6 months, and I have to look at 14 people, which is like 14 people of a family. So
it's your family, it's your partners,
we are all in the same boat. And when I talk to other people, I have friends in New York, Australia, Japan, Singapore. They were out of it, now they're back in it. If I feel that somebody stabbed me in the back and hit me with a brick in the head, I talk to somebody else. It happened to them too. It's kind of the same situation everywhere. So it's kind of like, okay, well, everybody got a beating here.
And we just need to move on, go ahead, and move forward.
That's human. It's human to try to survive. It's human to go ahead. And this is not a war with Iran invading us, throwing bombs, and that's why we are in this situation here. This is something that is the same happening in London. In a major city, it's the same. It's affecting the same way, and will change society a bit on what they do. But I'm sure.
What do you think? What will be the trend in the future? Basically, we are talking that.
No, there is a major
it is already changing.
This morning I was talking with people in Italy, for example, and to having 30% of the capability of the restaurant reduced to 30%, because the distances between table, having 30% of the staff then can work in the place, of course will reduce by 70% what you sell. And most of them, doing some easy calculation, will say, look, we were almost afloat. Some were making money, but a lot of them also were just struggling to make it before. If you reduce us now, what's going to happen? And I've spoke with many people, and then I think something takes, even in your group, maybe they decided to stay close until September, October, where everything peachy, but then you have the people, you have the thing, you have to start again. And that's probably why a lot of people are changing and deciding to open by Eid, if it's not before, and use this one as a retraining for whatever will happen. They moved the expo, and I think they did very well, because
That's very
an
right.
expo without tourism and without people
Without
travel too much.
It's about the socializing. Expo is only about the socializing. It's networking.
Yeah, expo is about
bringing
it's
people
about
together.
it's a melting pot, and
Exactly.
this virus is an unmelting pot. I don't know the word.
It's just the way for
It's
sure.
like the opposite of melting. It's a separating experience what we are living. I have friends in Italy. They are still locked down. They have a phase 2 now from the 4th of May. They've been 2 months closed, and they're desperate. They're desperate. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what happened.
And
You
what
can have
will
all
happen?
what will happen. Also, because there is many. Also, for me, I need to know all the guidelines that you need to deliver food. And you try to follow all of them. And for the restaurant, there's many more, because you have to deal with people coming to your restaurant. God forbid, then somebody gets sick coming to your restaurant.
Of
So
course.
you have to have all these
precautionary measures. Yeah.
all these precautionary measures. Then have to prevent, absolutely. The soonest then we can make Dubai as a safe haven, or one of the safe place, I'm sure that people, if allowed, they will come back. There is a lot of people also affluent. There is a lot of people that want to go somewhere. They want to go on vacation. They can wait. But right now, I cannot even go home to see my parents and come back next week if I want. And that won't take a toll. I really start to feel.
Well, you've been traveling quite a lot every month.
Yeah, I travel a lot, and just not knowing that I cannot. And I'm very happy I'm in the UAE instead than to be in New York or to be anywhere else now. I feel I'm me and my family. I have a little daughter, she's 10 years old, which to do the schooling at home, the fraction, the square root are done different than when I learned, and I was so used to just pick up my phone, and so it's kind of like an experience. Then I think that's what we have to take it as a different
I completely
experience.
agree.
And
We just
move on.
accept it and make the best out of it, and to rethink, to readjust ourselves to the new life, I would say. However, I do have a question. Basically,
Yes.
how's the relationship between the clients and you as a supplier for February, March? Because everyone, the restaurants, has been on lockdown since March. I'm more than sure, because I have the same issue. A lot of bills were not paid since Feb.
Oh yeah. One of for example, I give credit. All my clients go to a credit process, and they usually 30, 40, 45 days, depends. And of course, when they block March 10th, I have all the unpaid, all the invoice from the 10th, the first 10 days of March, and all February, and some also of January are unpaid. To me, and I'm a small company, is amount to around 2.5 million. I understand. I can't wait until they reopen, and I'm talking to them how to schedule up, helping them how to schedule a repayment for the future. I have people spread out in 3 months, people spread out in 6 months. People then can give me a little sum now, and then we can keep going on. Other people tell me I don't have it now. I pay you cash, and then when I can, we keep going. I find about 80%. Most of the people are they know they want to pay their bills, of course, and they know then it's tough also for me. I even try with the government to get to not to pay the 5% VAT of unpaid invoice, because I always now
was
I have to put,
one of my next questions, actually.
Yeah, like on 2.5 million is 125,000 dirham. Then now at the end of the month I have to pay, but I didn't receive not only the 100%. I have to put 5% on top, and that's really bad.
From your own pocket.
For my own pocket, and that could be cash flow. Then help me not to fire somebody maybe in 2 months if then nobody pays me. Exactly. And also my vendor, myself, my supplier also are waiting, and so it's a chain. It's gonna be a domino effect. But if we help each other and communicate, then you find a way to arrange. Because
I agree.
It's like a car without gasoline. It's like a car without gasoline, and everything is connected. Yeah. So. And we say in Italy, or I think all over the world, one hand wash the other one. With two, you wash your face. And so that's what I'm trying to do with most of the restaurateurs. Some I can reach because maybe they close or something, but most of them, they reach out to me, and they don't see me as just somebody calling as a collection agency, try to cover my ass and get the money. So we try to work out. Look, we're gonna work in the future, and we have to plan
a long-term
like,
relationship.
It's something. Then it's a bubble. It's a problem. We have to go around it together, and if it's a big obstacle, let's help each other to pass through it.
Just be passionate.
Because I'm sure that the future will be amazing. I'm sure then, like a spring will bounce back like it was before, unless the spring break. The problem is if this situation keeps staying long and this logo rating is really breaking and digging into people's savings. If now people maybe have it, people don't have it, but for people that maybe just found a job, was here for a few months, and because they're not even here 6 months, they've been laid off. There's been a lot of people. I have 3. Then, for example, I'm trying to help 3 employees I just got in January, and this happened at the end of March. They're still in probation. They don't have a vacation paid. You have to find a conclusion. Otherwise, you can't just switch off like a light. Exactly. Because they're not light bulbs. They're not going to switch on again in 2 months.
Sure.
So also I hope, and I see a lot of people trying to treat the employee very well. But it is something really affecting everybody, and the bigger you are, the bigger it affects you as a group. I'm sure also with your restaurants. Having all these employees and they depend on you, and on your side, no income because you're shut down by the government. Here, I don't know. We don't pay taxes in this country, so I don't know how much the government will help us. Beside maybe your landlord delaying your rent, or
but again, not everyone.
10% on DIVA or something.
10% on DIVA they did. Landlord right now is the biggest fight right now. To get the deductions from the landlords is very tough. Not everyone is understanding what's happening, and not everyone as a company. If you're dealing directly with someone, there is no problem. But if you're dealing with a company, it's much more tough because they have much more bigger costs as well involved.
True, but if you break the landlord, if I will leave from my office and I go and I close down, I go in another one. Right now, for 3-4 months, for sure, nobody will rent this place.
No one. Minimum for 3-4 months. You will be lucky.
I'm being realistic. So I was talking with friends of mine. Then it's a barbershop. Why you want any way to get paid the rent the 2 months and they were closed? Skip the rent, or they should do whatever bills, VAT and everything, add it to the end.
Exactly.
If I have a mortgage, and instead to tell me skip for 3 months, but then you give me 3 months plus this one, because to me they propose me, okay, don't pay for 3 months, and then the next 3 months you pay double. But I don't know what's gonna happen in 3 months.
Exactly, like how you can predict what will happen after 3 months for the next 3 months.
What I suggest to my landlord, okay, if I don't pay your rent for 3 months, just the lease add 3 months to the end. So instead to be next year, I will have next year another 8 months plus 3.
Yes, exactly, plus 3. So you're not having the lease for 12 months.
So you get it, but you get it later, and we are still going on. We're still back and forth. I don't know what is
exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's very tough to deal with the landlords right now. I do understand that this their income as well, but you cannot win when someone is losing in this kind of situation.
Well, there is no win-win situation. There's no lose. It's very easy to have a lose-lose situation here. Most of us, we don't have family and roots here, so you tend to, if it doesn't work, if it's broken, I go somewhere else. Unfortunately, it's like to have a crash with your car, and you cannot buy a new one. You need a car, and you have to fix it.
Yes.
So maybe we have to do where you find a part of your car made by who knows what, modify, and just make it for now, and let make it go. Even if it's not the official part that you're supposed to buy.
True, it's working together and just putting yourself in other shoes and moving forward and helping each other. Because if we don't help right now each other, then we will not move forward. That's quite simple in my eyes.
Yeah, unfortunately, not everybody, different culture, 200 nationality, not maybe everybody think the same. Other people say, well, this is the deal. What do you want me to do? But I see a lot of people then, even community of restaurant, and they start to talk to each other. I know then there is like chat food they're doing, because I could not afford to send my stuff through somebody and charge me 20-30% of the bill as a delivery. So there is no way. But usually the human being finds solution. We are smart enough to find different solution. What doesn't kill us make us stronger, and I think this is exactly one of the situation. Then that saying is perfect.
I agree. Massimo, I have last question as well for you. In this lockdown, basically, I do strongly, I can assume that all the consumption worldwide has been reduced for truffles, for caviar, where you're specializing. Will it positively affect the growing and production of the truffles and caviar?
Well, growing up, truffle are produced and are grown some wild, and about 20-30% of the truffle in the world is produced. But if nobody pick them up, it's like to have eggs of a chicken and oranges that stay on the trees, or melon that stay on the ground. They will rotten. Natural will continue. Nobody can go around looking for truffle now with a dog.
Exactly.
And then when they reopen, there is a new season now, the summer season. To me, it didn't affect much, because I was already, I mean, beside the old bills not paid, beside the invoice unpaid, I was already prepared to have May as Ramadan month, June, July, August, in going to like probably every restaurant. They had forecasts and are not as brilliant as November, December, being on Ramadan moving, anticipating almost 20 days
entering the low season
each year. So it's kind of like we were going to full season, so they don't find me with $10 million of inventory. I already prepared. I knew that I have enough, and then the see for September, December. So that's also good to be close now. Maybe it was better only if it was July, August instead than maybe March and April. But we could not. We didn't have a choice to pick it. We didn't have a choice to pick that. So. I think no, it will not affect truffles. You have to. It's mostly a wild product, and we'll go on with the season. Unlike maybe caviar. Caviar will have they have to harvest the fish. They will farm the fish, and there is 2 harvests a year, and probably they didn't harvest this year, so we'll have older fish, which makes better caviar next year. But they probably the stock, whatever stock they has to sell, because the caviar is a 3 to 6 month expiration date, and then they start to lose their property. The flavors is gonna change. Even if it's good for 8 months in a can by law, it's not as fresh when you get it fresh, and they're all farms, so they can control the production. Different is for who produce wine, who produce oil. Now there is all the vegetables. That one, they probably have to throw everything, because it's been unsold. Like the gasoline, then it's not being used. And
the prices straight away drop down.
Yeah, but those are commodities. Truffle is not a commodity yet.
Thanks God.
I'm trying to make it become spreading the truffle love. Most of the people in Dubai know, who goes to a restaurant or every waiter know what's a truffle, or what a truffle oil, truffle cream is.
I do believe that it was from your impact as well.
When I moved here after I was living in New York, I spent 2 years in Italy, and then when I moved here, I saw Dubai was, wow, this is like Vegas with the Bellagio, fountains. I remember it was only gambling and not available, and drugs, and then was looked like Vegas, and was totally different, the approach. And here they have a nice restaurant, 5-star hotel, very secure, but truffle they only used to have 1-2 kind, and they use it only for a week or 2 a year as a truffle season or a truffle week or a truffle special.
Yeah, it was like a very special menu.
and was
Very
kind of
limited.
hard also to have it. You had to pre-order it, prepay it. Was to get whatever they give you. And instead, I went and made it different. And you can choose kind of what you want, and everything started to grow from from one client. But it was a ride. Now I feel like we are back like 6 years ago when we are 4 people, because we are 30%. So we are 3-4 people, and we are doing a little bit of everything. I am doing a bit as a
Starting from the
receptionist. I'm
beginning.
doing,
Yes,
yeah.
great.
I did few delivery, receptionist. If one of these girls, God forbid, is sick, oh my God, I have to start to make an invoice myself. Take me half an hour, and it's not. But it's good.
Yeah, I do
We
believe
have
with
to
this
adjust. We have to
they will
adjust.
become very multifunctional. They will take over on some certain jobs like marketing, PR, invoicing, finding
Oh
and
yeah,
recruiting.
yes.
That's for sure.
I start to do my. Oh my God! To the first time I had to put a link on an Instant story. I was Googling, I was looking at night on YouTube how to do it and everything. Then I realized I could not do it with my company because there's less than 10,000 followers, and as TruffleManDubai has 60,000 followers, that then I can do it. So it was all things that you don't know and you take it for granted. And
Yeah.
now I understand how much it will be a CEO, what is called those internet, always called nerds, then do things that I never cared, and how essential they are. Like, and also a lot of restaurants learn delivery, and not to be in that kind of marketplace, they are paying at all, and they all switch. But also all supplier. There are a few suppliers that were already online, and they had the big advantage to being first and already to be set up for that kind of business. I had
Yeah.
to
When
catch
you
up.
do,
It took
yeah.
me 2 weeks. I put 6-7 items. Nobody knew TruffleManDubai.com or to order to chat food, and I did everything with WhatsApp and word of
Chat
mouth.
food is very helpful. Do you find
Chat food
chat
helped
food?
me a lot because
Mhm.
it was immediate. I didn't know to put the right picture on the thing. I have the description. This is the truffle oil. This is the description. This is how much you want. Can we give a discount? Yes or no? We decide the territory where to show it, because if I was doing, maybe somebody was ordering from Jeddah, and then who knows what I have to tell him. No, but like
Then it would
all
take
these
quite
things
a
that you
while
take,
to
you make
deliver.
it easy, and takes time. And um, one thing, I'm using the extra time that I had when there was no delivery. Now already we're starting to pick up, thank God, knock on wood. But when we have an hour or something, we start to adjust all things, fix those prices, fix the prices, recheck the costs, try to find different sources, or trying to find to put new item and to test something or ask. And for example, the gift basket came up because one lady said, "Oh, why can't you make me came over here? Why don't you make me a gift
This
basket?"
like a bit of this,
With
a
this,
bit
so
of
we put
different
it
stuff.
together. Then we realized, yes, nice, but how can I cannot give it on a white bag that I bought in Dragomart. So, like I have a box, but it's big like this. How can I make a gift basket? And a couple of girls here at me, they went to Dyson to buy the little plastic, the string.
The
Then I made a
strings as
string
well.
little touch, then the bag, and now it looks very nice when you get a gift bag. Now it's
Are you
very
using any
professional.
marketing tools? Are you working with any bloggers, influencers, advertising, Facebook, Instagram?
Not really. A lot of chef friends, chef clients are retweeting my story. I have a lot of followers, like 50, 60,000 on my Instagram, and most of them are here in Dubai and chefs, or they're chefs that move around. So they repost it. I have a group of WhatsApp, and I have the truffle lover and the caviar lover. People then sometime during the year they wanted to buy some caviar for themselves and buy it at home. So I
Mhm.
start to send WhatsApp, and through chat food, you just send the link. You one click,
And
and you are in the list of product.
yeah, it's one click away
And
to order from you.
yeah, yeah, it help a lot. Also, a lot being a many restaurant, take refills, Reef, also as a restaurant on chat food, 800 pizza. Then already a client, I asked and said, "No, look, it's working very well for me." They don't
So
take
word of
commission.
mouth for you is more.
Word of mouth is work. Yeah, I did sponsor on Instagram, on Facebook, the page, the ad. I
Mhm.
mean, then you can go click and try to. The first time I did the whole Dubai, I think, like And you put 500 dirham and you eat 20,000 people, but you have one guy that make a click. Also, I understand I'm selling caviar and truffle, and it's not really the right moment for people to splurge. But I also understand there is a niche of people then want to make something special. The wife of the CEO or something, or the birthday. There's always
Special
something special.
occasions as well, birthdays.
You can. There is birthdays. There is Ramadan now, Eid.
Of course.
There is and you cannot go to a restaurant now. They're starting again. Thank God they just reopened. But those 3 weeks then were totally closed. I had a lot of sales, and people were eating at home. Like people go to eat more meat, more good meat. And they're sick of buying the meat in Carrefour. I go to Prime Gourmet. He's also a client. So I go there. They sell my stuff. I try to buy their products. I'm very happy. Do barbecue, invite people. If then they become clients, great. Other way. But it's always one hand wash the other one. Two, you wash your face.
I completely agree with you. Master, do you think as well that basically the caviar and truffle, they are more on the premium luxury side, correct? And more on the costly side of, as me as a computer, as a buyer, it costs me quite a lot. Right now, the people without the job, the paychecks has been reduced, the salaries has been reduced. Do you think the consumption in future will stay, will grow, or will drop?
If you reason about it, will drop. But so then should drop also all the sales of penthouses, should drop the sales of diamonds, the gold, I don't know, should supposed to go down. Instead, it's not true. We live in a society that is pretty much free, and there is wealth in the world. And wealth doesn't just disappear, it moves. So if a big, this is a crisis that took a hit all over the world. So you will have a different repercussion, but there are niche market, and there are, for example, a real estate market. Dubai for sure goes down. But there are areas, trust me, in the Palm, the District 1, and few other that are going up. Even now. There are places in Monte Carlo that are selling for 70,000 euro a square meter. And they don't go to 30,000 euro square meter is pretty a lot, because 30 square meter is $1 million, is €1 million, no? So, okay, with you want to buy a little studio for 50 square meter, it costs you $4 million, $4 or $5 million. They don't give it away for free. I think there is people less spending, people's looking, but there's also lots of people that make wealth. There is new wealth, and those people always want to try the experience, the new things. They want to stay. I really hope there still will people want to stay at the Four Seasons for a week, at the Burj Al Arab for a week, at the address, are going to Atmosphere to have dinner. Pier Chic in Jumeirah. Yes, the same bottle of wine, I can buy it in somewhere else cheaper at the store, or I can buy the same Wagyu meat and barbecue myself. But
that's not the point.
I think then there's still people that make the world run, and there's richer gonna. The thing is like, overall, what I think is like, yes, there is very little rich people and a lot of poor people. Maybe the poorer get poorer, but I know for sure the richer get richer. At the end of all this, if everybody lose 10% of what you have, and even if it's little, a rich lose 10%, I still have 90% rich. I'm still 90% rich, I'm happy. If you're poor and you're 10% less poor, you're still poor.
Yeah.
And it really reflect. And I don't know. I know that there was, during the 2 weeks of shutdown, the COVID closure, there was more than 1,800 transactions for real estate, even when it was closed. I mean, you could not hire a person. I could not get a visa for somebody, but you could still buy and sell property. Why I say why they will not stop to eat caviar and truffle, because luxury is always gonna go. It's always not maybe it's not available to everybody, but who has the availability to buy it will use it more. Like
and those who are able to try
stock exchange didn't stop. If they did stop the stock exchange, they did stop the Wall Street, Shanghai and London. then people wouldn't lost my money with a different currency, with a different
but then they will
value.
get it back with playing around with that.
If they blocked the commodities trading, there was $60 a barrel will be the oil, not 10 or minus whatever it is now.
Well, yeah.
I'm just saying, but market goes on. Money is like liquid, it moves. There is a heating day, very, very hot. Maybe some of the get lost in the air, but money move. And
cash is a king.
yeah.
Unfortunately, will the prices for the luxury stuff will drop or stay the same, or will go?
Sorry, didn't hear you. Repeat. Sorry.
The prices for caviar, for truffles, will they remain the same or will they drop? Are you promoting
this one? No, it's I don't know. I don't know because, for example, caviar I buy from Italy, and is a place outside Milan, and they farm it, and one outside Brescia. It's one of the hardest heated places. I speak with the people constantly to see how they are, and they don't even have a clue how they're gonna come out with pricing. For sure, there probably is gonna be a cheaper price or something if they have old stock. But the new stock will probably cost more because now the cost of business will go high. Even if you reduce 30%, even if you don't reduce in a company 30%, you bring it back to 100% normal. The restaurant still gonna have some area, extra cost, the mask. It seems like nothing, but if you have 100 employees, 2 a days, it start to build up the disinfectant, the thing, all the extra measure that you have to take. Different chemicals probably come out with until all this is over, and I don't see it be over for the next 2 months. I think this is gonna drag, and we're gonna have to live with the COVID-19, like we live with. HIV is around, other leprosy is around. There is other disease around, and we are living with. They didn't find a cure. It's not then until you don't find a vaccine, everything has to be blocked and stopped. Unfortunately, it took a toll. There is many deaths around the world. My country has 30,000 deaths. Also, yesterday was 200 deaths, and it's going down. They're all happy. But 200 deaths is a plane. It's like a plane crash every day.
In each country.
In each country, each day. But before it was like almost 2,000 deaths a day. So it's like
there is a positive.
It's something. Then it's so overwhelming. Then looking at this figure with the respect of these people, then we're talking about numbers, but all over the world there are dead people, family of other people, and being here in Dubai, I always lived in New York for 18 years, so I was already open up. But here there is even more nationality, different culture, even more than New York. I know here I remember when there is Russian New Year's or Chinese New Year, then it's different. Eid. I have all different things that I didn't do in New York.
Yeah.
In New York, everything was all the people was adapting to America. Here it's kind of like everyone is adapting to each other. Yes, it's like a little satellite of community. Also, Dubai is very spread out, and now I get to meet many people than maybe the other side or neighbor that I never spoke before. I never spoke before, and we are all affected by this thing. But I'm positive will go away. To me, it's crucial. Then they will.
I agree with you. I'm trying to stay positive.
It's crucial. Then they will let people travel again. If they make travel very, very expensive or very, very difficult for people, that one will be a downside for Dubai. As we live on tourism here. I mean, you can have the best restaurant. Dubai is like 10 million people. 4 million cannot really afford to go to a restaurant. You have to care of the other one. There is a big chunk of competition then go and attack the same kind of the same kind of portion of society then can go to restaurants. And we all live on tourism a lot here. It's only 5% of GDP, but Gujarat empty. You will have a restaurant empty. If you have
Jumeirah is empty.
Jumeirah empty. Yes. So for all the hotels, like that guarantee that's blood in our vein is tourism, and you need to have people flying. That's the key.
Massimo, let's move on to the questions and answers if we have any who is watching us, guys. So Music Me is asking, is it true that you came to Dubai only with a case of truffle and was going around restaurants to sell them?
True. My first
I know the story. It's amazing. It's a very inspiring story, though.
I came to Dubai. I saw it was. Then I fly back to Italy. I came to November. It was 15th of October of 2011. I went up and down to Italy, and I brought back 4-kilo bag of truffle from Italy, and I started to sell it. I wanted to sell it to distributors here. Before they told me yes. Then when I arrived with the truffle, they told me no, I don't want any more. Two big distributors I don't mention. Why? Because now I thank them. Then they didn't buy my truffle. Because my intention was not to open a company, but to be the one who sell to 2-3 distributors, easy peasy.
Be a supplier, be a middleman.
I didn't want to start a company again like I had in New York. I have all the knowledge. I'm very good in caviar, truffle, foie gras, everything expensive. My belly, one day they put in a museum. I ate everything. Then is the top of the top. Also through many friends. No, it's really something they should analyze one day. My liver, as for food, but throughout Asia, America, Italy, Europe, and here, so I started. Yes, I started with 4 kilos of truffle, and my first client was Zuma, with Riff was the chef there. Who brought me to meet Benjamin, that time was the chef of LPM, one of the chefs there, where Izu was the top chef, and then so I got to meet Roberto, and I sold my first 4 kilo in one day. I opened my company. I was doing the invoice with a battery, with a computer, the printer in the car. I was doing delivery everywhere. I was doing everything. It was a one-man show. And I did like that for the first year because I didn't know what to do. And when I realized and it was doable and everything,
there is a demand, there is a volume.
Yeah, it's no, but they helped me a lot. The chef helped me a lot. The word of mouth between chefs, that was my success. Right. And I try to keep the quality. I produce everything. My line got bigger. And I still have the same client that I have 8 years ago, and they are recurring client. And wherever they move, even if they're chef, then are not maybe chef owner. That's to me that I did a good job, and that's it's a pleasure when somebody calls you. Oh, I'm here now. Oh, I'm there now. Oh. Yes.
One shaking.
Yes, the 2 hands. Yes.
Exactly.
Always.
How did you get? Andre Simko is asking. How did you get verified account on Instagram? Are the sales increased after that?
Sorry, I didn't read it.
After your account was verified on Instagram, because we've been talking, you said that to get chat food or a business account, you need to get over 10,000 followers. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So how did you get verified account on Instagram, and are the sales increased?
Oh no, I don't have. In fact, I have 2 Instagram. I have Touch Dubai, which has we made it like 2 years ago, just to have a name, Touch Dubai. And in that one, I have 200-300 followers. We started really to push this one. As before, I was using just the tag hashtag #ItalTouch. ItalTouch is owned by somebody else, and I don't know who. And so I put ItalTouch Dubai is my Instagram, and I have my TruffleManDubai, which is my own Instagram. And that one I made it maybe 7 years ago. When I started to figure it out Instagram, because before it was only a Facebook guy. Facebook can only have 5,000 followers. I have 2-3 Facebook names, Max Vidoni, whatever, because I have more than 5,000 followers, and it's closed. And it's most of for people. For Instagram, I have like 60, 70,000, 65,000, don't remember, followers, and it's always kind of steady, but it grows maybe. If I take a picture with Nusret, or if I had the one with Donald Trump or with Ronaldo, maybe I grew 300-400 followers for that picture. Or I have, the Indian guy, Salt By. Just Sol was in my office.
I saw it was quite cool. You had a very nice video.
Yeah, we did a truffle pusher. We did a truffle pusher. No, so the Instagram. I am very happy. Then to me works because if you are a famous chef or even if you are just a chef, I take a picture with you. I promote you. I'm telling all your colleagues, chefs, look, you're here or this place open. I promote whatever dish you send me with truffle, especially if you're my client, I put it on. And instead to you to put something and somebody can say, oh, what the crap my grandmother used to do, what are you doing? Or to be subjected to that criticism is on my Instagram. I promote you and it's not you pumping yourself. It's me pumping you. And
it's
then
give and
what
take.
happened with a chef
usually
is yes, but what happened is a chef usually is I tag you. You are a chef. You went to school with another 50 chefs. You know another 200 chefs. Chefs know all each other. Chef lives also in a network of by themselves, where they share ideas, recipe, or knowledge, or how they find jobs is through communicating to each other. So if I have a picture with any big chef, Gordon Ramsay, I used to know him from New York. John George also, I used to know him when he only had Jojo, and then he opened John George. I know Marja, his wife. Now they have 26 restaurants. David Burke, most of Thomas Keller. They were all my clients 20 years ago. And that time they are still friends, or they follow me on Instagram, and they weren't famous. They were famous just for cooking well. Then the New York Times and Food Network elevate them to guru gods, and now they're unreachable. To speak with Daniel Boulou, I have to go to three secretary or three assistants.
Exactly, three assistants.
And I know them for real. I know them. I deal with them
personally.
Yeah. The president of the James Beard Foundation or New York Times. I have article on New York Times, Forbes. I was on CNN for a big truffle in New York. So I was already used to, but there wasn't Facebook or Instagram then. Thank God also, because when I was, at that time, chefs were crazy. I used to go out a lot, and it was different to be a chef in New York in the crazy time. Here is more regulated and more
calm, more
calm. Apparently. Then let's go behind the scene. I don't know, because now I stay home with my daughter and wife.
Good.
Locked. Now I'm locked. No,
we have another one. What is your revenue? We have another question. What is your revenue dropping percentage for the past 2 months?
90%.
90%.
I remember I was asking the other day, and now usually I get a report daily of the sales, and I always have each day a sales. Let's say today is the 10th of the month, and I have compared to the 10th of the month of last year. That's my always. Now I can tell you, December I had a mark. I have an increase of by about 80%, about 60% this January respect the January 2019. February 80% again. So we were going very, very up, and I remember the month of March until the 10th was about 80% up, and we did 20% less. 20% less we did of the year before, because until the 10th went very well, and then from the drop. So February kind of very hard to calculate. My biggest drop of business, I saw it in April, where for the whole month I sold about 150,000 dirham, when last year we did 1.5 million. So for me, it was 10%, exactly 10%.
Right now, it's
May got better, and I don't know, and I don't want to look into the other month, because then I get depressed. If it's, I know it's not like
fingers crossed. And
I know it's not like last year, but it was a very big hit. All my clients, I was blocked as well. I still came to the office because I didn't want to go crazy, and I used to come to the office and do things. I open closet and things. Then I wasn't. I just tried to see what's going on. Try to catch up with family, catch up with friends, communicating a lot, see what's going on, get point of view, and I clear my mind of who knows, complot or these. The Chinese did it in purpose. The American, the Russian. At the end of the day, I just say, look, let's put our head down and we go ahead. But it was a big hit. The first 10 days there was no phone calls. I mean, everybody was even scared to go home. Sometimes was even scared to call, like if you get it from the phone. You don't know what's going on. But then
everyone started coming back to the life.
And I did out of all the blockade that they did, I stayed home only Fridays because I stayed home with my family. For the rest, I always came to work, always safely, cleaning and everything. And we are 4 people in the office, very far away from each other, and we control the temperature.
On different floors, even. On different floors, even.
Yeah. No, yes, we are in 2 floors, but like I can't wait to be again, like
rocking and
rocking, pushing. I always say push caviar. I always we'll go back to that one. I also don't
it's
see.
It's just a matter of time. I completely agree with you.
I also, when I got to see Chef,
and he will be there.
When I got to see Chef dressed like doctor and everything, one guy come and look and everything. He's a pizza boy. This pizza boy looks like a Martian to me with a mask, the thing. Like you need to touch, you need to see, you need to feel. It became very ascetic, very strange.
You need to engage.
It has to pass. I'm really positive it will, and we can't wait to go back to normal. I already think about a nightmare will be now to fly out of Dubai, take a trip. I was already going crazy, and I was so happy. Then we have the UAE ID, and we passed in front of everybody. Now who knows what we need?
Sure.
Some blood test, proof.
I believe the last question will be ending up with your last touch. All the through chat food, what is your sales now? Please tell me if this is around 20K a month.
Yes. Yeah, a bit more.
I'm more than sure. I believe it should be even more.
I more and more, but remember, I'm not a restaurant. I only sell I sell some packages where it goes from 150 to 100, so it's way above anybody regular budget. I spoke with many restaurateurs, and they told me that the average spending is 40-50 dirham a person. And so to buy a glass of a little jar of truffle honey for 200 dirham maybe is not what everybody is in mind now, or a 50 gram of caviar. So it's really a niche market, super niche now, because now it's very hard. I mean, my wife makes a decent living. She earns around 30-35 grand. She has a cut salary of 20%, but still she doesn't go and buy caviar. Yeah. If I wasn't selling caviar and have it in the fridge like you have mayonnaise or ketchup. Truffle is something exclusive, something like
it's very
special. It's usually for a gift. It's something to celebrate. There's not much to celebrate, but still, also this morning I have an order for like 60 gift basket for Eid. I have another 150 for next week. All got through chat food. Sometimes I hear a little music I was telling you before, and somebody buy a 30 gram of caviar, somebody buy 250, somebody buy me 6,000 thing of a Chinese big hybrid. Yeah. There is still people partying, or they just want to drown themselves in caviar. I don't know, but thank God, yeah, it is more than 20,000 a week.
Massimo, it was a fantastic chat. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate your knowledge, your positive share, I would say. Guys, please visit Little Touch, visit Chat Food, order directly from Chat Food for Massimo, support him as well. Follow him on Instagram as TruffleManDubai, and he will have a last word spreading the positivism. Just wish the guys stay positive.
Yeah. Come on Instagram, TruffleManDubai. That's my Instagram. Write something, say hello. Follow me, I follow you back.
Ciao. Thank you very much, guys. And don't forget to subscribe for Poly FNB. Massimo, thank you very much and have a good day.
Thank you. Bye. Have a nice